Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right, welcome back to another episode of Teamster Power Reality Check. Today, we're going to be talking, it's part 2, we're going to be talking about, continuing to talk about Article 6, Section 4,
Yes.
technological change.
Yes.
Very important. Very important. And, you know, we know where this came into play with the last contract, where the company just decided, hey, we're going to put in cameras. That's it. We're going to just do what we want, and we're not going to get any pushback from the union.
And, this will be an important section to know going forward because
Absolutely.
Obviously we're going to have more technology coming in. We decided, I said I used the royal we, apparently decided to ignore automation and, not give us good language and good protection for that kind of thing. My building's going to be losing like, I think it's 23 part-time positions as a result of automation.
Wow.
We can only talk. Jeff and I can only talk about this so much. People have to take it seriously, and we have to make sure that we have stronger language moving forward in the next contract, and we have to make sure that the language that we do have, however weak we may think it is upheld, and nobody can do that but us. That's all on us.
Yes, and we have to, something has to be in there where if there is, when there is more automation, we're not losing jobs over it. Like if there's for the automation, if there are jobs that have to be done for the automation, we want those obviously to be our jobs, right?
Yes.
So that's important. We just don't want to lose jobs because of it. Hey, they got to find something.
Yeah.
And whatever that language is, we don't know. We're just, we have to take it seriously because it's here and a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and read some of this. This is a big section, so I'm probably not going to read it all, but I'm going to get started with the first bit. Technological change shall be defined as any meaningful change in equipment or materials which results in a meaningful change in the work, wages, hours, or working conditions of any classification of employees in the bargaining unit, or diminishes the number of workers in any classification of employees in the bargaining unit. During the term of this agreement, such changes shall not include the use of drones or driverless vehicles to transport, deliver, or pick up packages, platooning, or shifting, but in the event the employer desires to implement any change described in this sentence, it shall be required to notify the National Negotiating Committee 6 months in advance of any such change and shall be required to bargain the effects of any such change. If no agreement is reached between parties, the matter shall be resolved under Article 8. Now, Article 8 is the grievance procedure. Well, first of all, I feel like they're already putting in automated shifters.
Yeah, they have.
Like I've already seen pictures and stuff of that. So that feels like was that talked about 6 months ago? Was that? What happened with that negotiating committee? Like this is language. This is new. This is language from this current contract. So from 2 years ago. So what happened to negotiate putting shifters in? Because we have shifters. We have people that are paid just to move tractors around. And now they're putting in automatic shifters. So that's taking jobs away right there. Like in my sort, they're putting in an automated small sort that, from what I understand, what I've been told anyways, is going to take longer to sort the smalls than if they were using people. But they're implementing it anyways to the tune of I think it's almost $10 million just to outfit our building.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They will.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay insurance on them, right?
No, but they're gonna. I know, but I guarantee you, it's gonna break.
Oh, of course, it's gonna break. Oh, but you know the way the company looks at it. Oh, we don't need the people. Hey, they don't. No insurance involved. No this, no that. And there'll be issues, and there'll be plenty of issues, and hopefully, no one gets hurt from it. Seriously, right?
Yeah.
That has to be part of it also because we know that. With the cameras, that's not
Yeah.
That's not what was done. Safety wasn't
Well,
taken in.
even if you don't even take consideration the safety aspect of it with the infrared and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, like we talked about, working conditions, meaningful
Oh yeah.
change of working conditions. My working conditions have changed as a result of having these cameras. I have more meetings
Absolutely.
with management as a result of these cameras. I have,
Hmm.
represent more people. More people are harassed as a result of what of these cameras are picking up, whether it's false or not. They can't discipline
Yep.
without seeing the stuff. But now, if the camera sees something that's false, that
Yep.
that's changing my working conditions. If I feel like
Absolutely is.
if I feel like I'm being harassed more at work as a result of them, then that's a change. That's a meaningful change. If I have to
Uh,
dread coming into work every day, it's like, oh,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to, have a meeting with management because my um oh, I don't know, my camera thought that I missed a stop sign when there wasn't even a stop sign there, or the
Yeah.
camera thought that I was, taking a drink, or when I took a drink and my camera thought I was distracted, or
Yeah.
one
Of
of 100
course.
things that changes my working conditions. And
Yes.
if whoever wrote this language or a part of the negotiating committee thinks that this doesn't qualify, you're wrong. You've been away from the work too long to be able
That's the problem.
to
Yep.
make that call, as far as I'm concerned.
And it how it affects like I said, every aspect of your life. Like
Yeah.
it could affect your driving because it's affecting you mentally. Like
Yeah.
you just every aspect. Physically, maybe you're doing things differently. It's just everything's got to got to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Everything. So,
Um,
yeah.
this number two, this next one is very interesting to me. The employer and the union agrees to establish a national Teamster UPS committee for technological change, consisting of an equal number of representatives from the UPS and the union. The committee shall meet upon request, but not less than 3 times per year, to review any proposed technological changes covered by this section. As part of the meeting, the committee shall discuss whether the planned technological change violates any provisions of this agreement. Further, the employer will review any training requirement for bargaining unit employees to perform new or modified work generated as a result of this new technology, or to utilize the technology as necessary.
Yeah.
I want to see the notes from the meeting where they decided that the camera didn't violate this part of the contract. I want
Oh
to
yeah.
I want to know who was on that committee and who signed off on that.
Well,
I want to know those names.
well, that's exactly. And here's the thing. That's why, just going to say quickly, that's why open bargaining is so important,
Yeah,
right?
hundred
I
percent.
mean, there's nothing to be hidden. You're seeing what we're seeing. And now we're in a situation, I mean, we've been in because, this should have never have happened. And, it was, and it's uh, ad nauseum we say this, but it's still so important, with the cameras now knowing that there's an infrared issue that could affect you and, your eyes and taking different medication. Like it's just so many things, just the whole process. The questions weren't asked, right? And I just don't know. I just too many things were allowed, right?
Yeah.
Too many things were allowed to happen that shouldn't have. So
Well, and once again, this comes to the part where the people on those committees are too far removed.
absolutely,
They're way
absolutely,
too
they
far
are.
removed from the work, whether they be from UPS or whatever Teamsters organization. They're way too
Yep.
far removed from the work.
Yes. Yes. And it's a lot of times they don't they're removed from it, and a lot of times they don't want to ask members,
Yeah.
they don't want to, well, oh, why would I ask a member? I have this position, I'm too good to ask,
Yeah.
right? But again, forgetting that they're all these, the members are on the shop floor and you're not.
Yeah.
So it's that's a big issue. That's big. That's huge. But once again, we're here, right?
Yeah. Here we are.
Yep.
The next section is basically talking about the national the national committee proposed technological
Yep.
changes, to 6 months it's supposed to be, and then 45 days prior to that, prior to the meeting,
Yep.
everything's supposed to be. So like It's just basically just what they're supposed to go through in order to make these changes.
But it gives them an out a little bit. It says, or provide notice of any change. Basically, give them as much time as possible. So is it 6
Dictate,
months or
yeah.
just give them as much time?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Another out?
Of course. I mean, it's full of holes. We've said that. I mean, this isn't the first contract that's been full of holes, but this seems to be the one that's most egregious.
Yep.
If technological change creates new work that replaces, enhances, or modifies bargaining unit work, bargaining unit employees will perform that new or modified work. The employer shall provide bargaining unit employees training required to utilize the new technology if necessary. This section shall supersede any supplemental rider or addendum provision on the same subject. So basically, if all of a sudden we start using drone deliveries, drones, and they put, you remember what was it? Probably 5-10 years ago, they had that. What was it, like commercial or something of where there was a drone in like the top of the UPS truck that came up,
Yeah.
If they were to implement something like that, obviously they would have to train us on how to use all that kind of stuff, how to do it properly. If this is one of the things too, like, that small sort in my building, that's 23 jobs. Those people aren't getting the opportunity. As far as I know, those people aren't getting the opportunity to train on any of it. Like, it's disappointing to say the least.
And here's the thing. Again, what we're trying to get across here, there are steps that have to be taken. There's a certain time period. Some of them a little lax. Then there's outs, but there are still things that the company has to follow. And they didn't bargain with us. They just put in the cameras. So how did that happen? How did we allow that to happen? Right?
And if,
we should have taken the cameras out. We should have made them take it out.
Yeah. And if they did bargain with us and we didn't know about it, that's also a problem.
Absolutely.
That's kind of where I'm getting at this, because I feel like the company probably did this just to the letter of the law. We just didn't know about it. Like, that's how I feel this all played out. Is like, oh, there was a national committee. They met, they talked about it. They were just like, oh, this is fine, no big deal. That's how I feel this went down. Once again, I don't know. I'm not in the know. Nobody's told me that. That's just how I feel this played out.
What about the AC and the lack of AC in the truck? I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not even funny. No. Jeez.
Okay, and lastly, we're going to talk about Section 6 here of Article 6, technology and discipline.
Yes.
Here we go. No employee shall be disciplined based solely upon information received from GPS telematics or any successor system that similarly tracks or surveils an employee's movements unless they engage in dishonesty. A driver's failure to accurately recall what is reflected by the technology shall not by itself be considered dishonesty. The company must confirm by direct observation or by other corroborating evidence any other violations warranting discharge. The degree of discipline dealing with off-area offenses shall not be changed because of the use of the above-mentioned system.
Oh yeah, I just want to mention something. So if they try to come to you, they try to give you discipline, and hopefully your steward knows what they're doing, and they said, oh, you did this. And then the steward says, okay, how did you get that information? Oh, we got it off the computer. Okay, thank you. Don't go into anything else.
Don't give them anything. If they're asking you questions like that, they're fishing. If they had enough to fire you, there wouldn't be a talk about it. They would bring you into they would bring you into the office, and they would say, we're walking you out. You were dishonest, or you did this, or you did that. There wouldn't be any conversation. If they're asking you questions, they're fishing. Don't get
less
hooked.
Is more. Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't get hooked. But again, remember, it's, they're just having it. They happen to see it on the computer. A number came up or something popped up. Well, that's just not good enough, And
I did want to talk about a part of this that's in parentheses about that's defining dishonesty. Defined for the purpose of this paragraph as any intentional act or omission by an employee where they intended to defraud the company. So, once again, just be careful what you say. If when in doubt, shut up. Let the steward do the talking. Don't give them anything.
No.
Ideally, don't do anything. But if you do, don't talk about it.
And listen, what they take as define as purpose of this as an intentional act. They'll say it's an intentional act. It wasn't, and that's where they'll start getting into it. They'll get you riled up, and hopefully you have a steward, who's knows what they're doing, and then that just puts a stop to that real quick.
Okay. No employee shall be issued a warning notice based solely upon the above mentioned systems without first having a verbal counseling session on an identical infraction, i.e. to seatbelt violations. Any such discipline shall also comply with applicable supplemental disciplinary procedures and requirements. I don't like this because this gives them a loophole.
Yep.
To me, this says, no employee shall be issued a warning notice based solely upon the above mentioned systems without first having a verbal counseling.
Yeah.
So that tells me they can give you a warning letter for telematics as long as they talk to you about it once before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what they're going by. That's exactly
I'll fight it. I'll fight
Yeah.
it, but there's no reason that language right there. There's no reason that should be in that whole paragraph ought to be taken out of the contract.
Absolutely. And again, if they want to go over videos, you remember we don't watch videos of the camera. We don't watch videos. We don't do that.
Nope.
Okay. And that's important to know also. I mean, they'll try to say, hey, just come in. Hey, just come take a look. No, I'm good. Thank you. I don't need that. We don't do that.
No.
Okay. So at least we don't do it at all local.
No. Vehicles may not be equipped with inward facing cameras. Doesn't say anything about sensors.
Cameras, sensors, cameras.
Forward-facing capability of cameras shall not be used for discipline.
Cameras.
Further, there shall be no in-cab audio recording or videotaping. Any functionality included in driver-facing cameras, including their driver recording or monitoring functionality, will be disabled and rendered inoperable to prevent recording and monitoring of in-cab activities. Upon request, evidence of the disabled functionality of any driver-facing camera shall be provided to the package division. Driver-facing sensors will only be used for the purpose of triggering in-cab audible alerts related to distracted driving or for the purpose of identifying coaching and counseling opportunities related to the same during intergrad or the 30-day driver qualification probationary period. Driver-facing sensors shall not be used for any purpose during any phase of a disciplinary process or be the sole basis for disqualifying a driver during the 30-day period.
Well, they said they turned off I'm just going to say it. We'll call it the camera sensor, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a camera. That's it.
Yeah.
We know that. And they said that they turned it off. Right. Whatever. Right. I mean, come on. They're certainly. How do they know certain things are going on? How do they know what to come at you for? That they're looking. There's no way they're not. Okay.
And even if they aren't, what does Lytx have? Even if I have a company, if UPS say they can't, they say it isn't a cancer, that it's just that it isn't a camera, that it's just a sensor, and all it's used for is audio alerts. That's a camera. 100%. That is a camera. It's not a sensor. It's a camera.
Let's get that straight with everyone.
If it's videoing, somebody's getting it. And whether UPS has got it or Lytx has got it, I don't want anybody to have it.
Yep. And they're collecting your information.
And they're collecting, and we've talked. And Lytx has been has had their suit filed against them in other countries and other states about collecting people's biometric data from those sensors. So if they're doing it in Illinois or if they're doing it in Canada, I guarantee you they're doing it here too.
Absolutely. They are. I mean, it's that whole thing. I mean, it's just what a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah.
So, but
finally,
yeah.
the company acknowledges that there have been problems with the utilization of technology in the past. Therefore, at the request of the union's Joint National Negotiating Committee co-chair, a meeting will be scheduled with the company co-chair to discuss any alleged misuse of technology for disciplinary purposes and what steps are necessary to remedy any misuse.
Okay. I mean, they're always using it for things they shouldn't have, right? I mean, it's absolutely unreal, and that's where, again, supposed to be a strike issue. It wasn't. So why wasn't there stronger language put in there?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I was under the impression that if the cameras were still in the trucks, that we would be going on strike. And here we are 2 years after the contract was ratified, and we still have cameras. So that's where we are, people.
Yes. Well, so we're just going to go over something. We had last weekend, we had Richard Hooker on, we had Mike Moxley, Eric Johnson. And those two right there, Moxley and Johnson, they did the research, right, about the infrared light.
Yeah.
And they put the money out. The IBT wanted nothing to do with it. They wanted nothing to do with it. Don't know why, but we found out that there are issues. Okay. And you can go back to that episode. You can see Eric is very well spoken. He explains exactly what, if you take a certain type of medication or whatnot. And it's an issue. And again, no one told us anything, even if it's a minimal risk, an acceptable risk. What's acceptable?
Yeah.
They make things acceptable because they want them to be acceptable, right? But you don't know 20 years down the line.
No.
Right? You don't know what could happen. So what Eric came up with is a infrared light survey. We're going to post this, on the attached to this episode.
Yeah.
Everyone who's drivers, feeders, everyone who's come across those cameras, fill out the survey. It's all private.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That information is not going anywhere. It's important. We want to know if you're having any eye issues. There's the whole survey. You'll see the survey, and just go to it at the end of the podcast. Click on the link. And when you do it, when you submit it, it just submits it in. Fill it out and submit it. It goes right in.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything else.
Yep.
So
we appreciate any information.
We've had a lot of people fill. You what?
We appreciate any information anybody has for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We want to know if you're having any issues seeing or whatnot. We want to continue getting as much information as we can for the safety of the members, right? How about that? That's a novel concept, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm glad we talked about it because all this, the safety and then the technology and discipline, which the company loves to do, right?
Yeah.
They love to try
100%.
and do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any questions? Again, you can just send it to the podcast email. And we'll answer it as best we can.
Yep.
So all these things are extremely important, with automation and everything going on, and the company trying to just do whatever they want. We got to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
So
100%.
All right. So for myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.